In Evan Solomon. Evan is a CTV News political contributor and G0 media publisher. Evan, thanks as always for joining us.
Thanks, Raj. And this news is really spinning really quickly. So Justin Trudeau, you showed the clip. He didn't know if these are coming on February 1st, tomorrow. Donald Trump last night was very explicit, saying 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico are coming. He did not say if that would include energy and oil. Then we've got some last night, Pete Navarro, his senior trade and manufacturing advisor, told MSNBC, well, we'll see about that. So all of a sudden, wiggle room appeared, right? We know the Treasury Secretary Lutnick has also given some wiggle room. And now we've got, again, unconfirmed breaking news from Reuters that, let me just make sure I've got this right for you, Raj. Reuters has just published the headline that Trump's tariffs on Canada will now move from February 1st to March 1st, according to sources. Now, folks, this is a moving target. So Reuters now just reporting that according to their sources, CTV News has not confirmed this, but Reuters is reporting that the tariffs on Canada and Mexico will begin on March 1st. And they are saying, quote, this is Reuters, will include a process for the countries to seek specific exemptions for certain imports. Three people familiar with the planning towards Reuters have said. So, look, this is the definition of pins and needles. Last night, the President of the United States looked into a camera right here in answering questions from reporters and explicitly said, yes, February 1st is the deadline, and I will be imposing 25% tariffs. Again, senior members, Pete Navarro, Lutnick, who have said there's a process, we're not sure, offering some kind of room here. And now the Reuters report saying it's not Feb 1st, it's March 1st. So we don't know, and we'll confirm. Clearly, this is so fluid that the Prime Minister of Canada, who's making a speech within the last 90 minutes, did not know this. But he only said, if they come, we are ready for dollar responses.
So what does this tell you? Does it tell you that it's disarray in Washington or that negotiations are actually making progress?
I think it says three different things. Number one, there's a distance between Trump rhetoric and Trump reality, right? He often says things with a certainty that actually aren't true. I'm going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. That didn't happen. So there is a distance between what actually happens and what Donald Trump says. Again, I just point to things like yesterday in the middle of that horrific plane crash with a helicopter and the plane collided in Washington over the Potomac, 67 people gone. We didn't even know the details, and he had already blamed the DEI policy as a reason. Then last night on True Social, he said the helicopter was flying too high. In other words, he pronounces on things that may or may not be true. So that's point one. Point two, clearly there's some negotiating wiggle room and that he's using these threats as a negotiating tactic. Pete Navarro talks about short-term tariffs and long-term tariffs. Short-term tariffs, let's say like the type he imposed on the country Colombia. They had a 24-hour tariff war there where Donald Trump said, if you don't allow me to deport illegal migrants back to Colombia, I will slap 25% tariffs. Colombia was going to hit back, and then it was over within 24 hours. So is it a negotiating tactic? And is he doing that, the short-term 25% tariffs, and then maybe there's a negotiating room for different tariffs on different things? So there's that. And I would just say, finally, is there disarray? Yeah, we saw that again this week, Raj. In the fleet of executive orders that came out, one of them came out that shut down many government programs, including Medicare, that they had to revoke because trillions of dollars were going to be frozen in program spending, and the Trump administration that because it went out. So they're moving at such a clip, Raj, that the threat and the reality are not matched up.
And just one question before we go. With oil, Trump has hinted that maybe that might be exempt. How much of an impact would that have on the United Canada front that Canada's been trying to present?
Canada exports about 24% of the oil that America needs, right? It's their major oil. It's mostly heavy crude because the American refineries need it. Donald Trump realizes that his base looks at the price of gas and the price of oil, and that a disruption from Canadian energy would be absolutely brutal for him. So it's a very strong card. Would that again, we're being hypothetical. For example, if there was a carve out for energy, and so the energy industry gets a break, but for example, the auto industry gets 25% tariffs. So you'll see the Ontario economy, the Quebec economy rocked, while the Alberta economy less impacted. Yes, that would have a significant impact on the quote United Canada front. Danielle Smith has said, I do not want any oil to be used as a weapon because that would cause a unity crisis. But again, Trump's idea may be to divide Canada like that because of political reasons and maybe because of other reasons. But again, the headline, folks, today is this Reuters story. If it's true, then there's a stay of tariffication, as it were, by a month.
And I just got to add to that, apparently Canadian officials are denying it. They're saying they've heard nothing about that. So that's another twist to add to everything.
That's it. Well, that's what I'm saying. And again, we've heard sources inside the government contradict the president. So again, we've never seen an administration like this where the president is so outspoken and is so far ahead and says things that, are very difficult to interpret. So again, that distance between rhetoric and reality is important. But again, that Reuters report, not confirmed by the Prime Minister within the last 90 minutes and no government officials. But let's see what happens. I would say nobody should relax yet and breathe easy. But again, the Prime Minister is pretty clear. We're ready to retaliate. And that would be a whole different relationship. But everyone's trying to stay out of Trump's sight, so maybe cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, and just to clarify, not deny, they haven't had confirmation or heard anything about
this
thing. Yeah. Evan, thank you as always, sir.
Yeah, Raj, a pleasure. And obviously, this is a very fluid situation that I know CTV is watching closely.
You know it. Evan Solomon is a CTV News political contributor and G0 media publisher.